Last week we talked about setting your showings with the AI tool that we have, the showing tool. But today we're going to go into CMAs. So we're going to use AI. We're going to go through an example. We're going to go on it together. So I have to go into an area that I know quite well. So I can at least give us some good feedback if it got to the right answer to begin with. So, with that being said, I want to give you the prompt. This is something that you're going to have access to now. Um, if you're part of our production team, so I see Tracy and Jason here, so you have access to it in our hub. So all you have to do is just click on that link. But everyone else, and as more and more folks hop on, you'll find a lot of value in just copying and pasting what you're seeing on the screen. This is the prompt. Now, because we've covered how to set up prompts in the past and done all that fun stuff, we're not going to go into creating the custom prompts from scratch. Because we've done that several times previous in our summits. Today, we're going to focus on more taking action and getting this to the final result as and making that assumption that we already know how to create prompts and such. So, this is the prompt, so I'll go overview and then share kind of what happens on the back end, the engine that is going to operate this. So first, like anything else, let's say you got a call from a seller and they want to sell their home. Well, first we need to gather some information about the home itself. So here, just gather information about the home. Now, the prompt itself is going to give you questions. It's going to ask you, hey, what's the address? How many beds? How many baths? Square footage? Blah, blah, blah. We'll see this in action. Just giving you the framework that it uses on the back end. Step two is it's gonna is this isn't not something that you're gonna be doing on the front end, but this goes into the criteria that I want for it to consider when it's pulling up comparables. So this is going to be the edited part that you're going to need if you don't operate in a metropolitan area. So if you are in an area where there's a bit more, if it's more rural, if you're like in condos and like this is not gonna work as is for New York City. But it is gonna work for the Dallas of the world, the Orlandos of the world, the Houstons of the world, the Oklahoma cities of the world. This is the logic that we've already installed in here. Now, again, we're not gonna go line by line here. That's not the best use of our time. But understand that there's a framework that we put some guardrails on the back end so as to not go out and pull a horse property with 20 acres versus a condo in Dallas. That's why we structure it the way that we do. Now, as far as pricing strategy rules, we also change that. We change that in such a way to where we embed a bit more of our knowledge here. So here, things that we generalize, like how much we're adding for a pool, how much we add or take away from a kitchen, what we do when it comes to like special instances, like if they are backed up to a green belt or something unique that would be important whenever you are yourself doing the analysis. So we're trying to put in as much data in here that we would be bringing to the table. But if you don't have that information, then just let it be the way that it is, and maybe make some adjustments on the back end of this instead of the logic that you already have. But for again, if you're using the prompt that we have here, especially in Dallas Fort Worth, that's more of the logic since this is where we practice. There's more of the logic where we did everything. And then we go out and get really market sentiment. What's going on there right now and pull from Movoto, from Zillow, from Redfin, Homes, Realtor. This is going to be way more important as real estate continues to shift, as the compasses of the world buy every brokerage under the sun, as all these other brokerages just start fragmenting, the Redfins of the world. It just a lot of fragmenting that's happening to where a lot of the information that we are embedding may not find its way onto the MLS as is. So we are needing to piece together information. It's becoming more fractionalized as we get further and further down the road. And then the output structure. This basically is what are we trying to get from the GPT, what we're trying to get from this hyperlocal CMA tool that we have. Again, we're gonna get right into it, but wanted to give you the guts of this so you know what it's actually going and doing in the back end. So this is the a custom GPT. Now we've already talked about how to do this in the past. We're not going to spend much time here. Just know that you do need to create a safe GPT or a custom GPT. You're just going to name it. So for us, it's the Hyperlocal CMA. This is DFW Homeowner Group, our production team here locally in Dallas Fort Worth. What does it do? Well, it provides a hyperlocal expert driven CMA for sellers in the DFW market. And this also works with buyers, but we focus more on sellers here. Instructions, we instruct it what to do, and then we have it go, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're going to have it go. So hyperlocal CMA. So once again, if you're part of a production team, you just click on it and it works. But if you're not, then you're gonna need to use that prompt that you're seeing here and add it to your CMA and make some adjustments specific to your market. If you are in the like next to the ocean, like a Miami, a heavy Miami one where a lot of the property is beachside and that's very, very valuable, you're gonna want to adjust that for but only things that you would have access to or you would know as opposed to somebody that's operating in Dallas Fort Worth. All right, so input property information. So for this one, we're just going to go with the market that I'm familiar with quite a bit. So what we're going to do is we're just going to type in input property information. We use one of my rentals, Rutherford Drive, Crowley, Texas. All right, so I'm just going to put the address so then it can prompt me what it needs from me. All right, so it needs the address. Oh, we have that. Beds, square footage, and all that fun stuff. So this one, I think I remember. So 4 beds, 2 baths, square footage, I think it's like 1850 or so, I think. I could look it up, but I guess I'm choosing not to. Square footage. We already talked about lot size is 0.125 acres. So an eighth of an acre. Year built, 2019. Garage, 2 car garage. And I'm just answering the prompts. And this is the same thing that you would have access to from your sellers. Or either you're asking them or you see what they previously put on a listing of that home that they're trying to sell now. No pool, features, office, game room, green belt, no. There's really no features on it. Condition, model home, average. So it's been relatively well kept. So I'm going to put condition 8. Upgrades. Uh, what have we done to it? New roof. We just replaced the roof a year ago. Not in a cul-de-sac. I'm sorry, upgrades. New carpet. We put new carpet when we got a new tenant in. What else did we do? Recently painted. All right. So these are just normal questions that you would be asking and getting answers to. Selling points. It's not on a corner not a corner lot, cul-de-sac, green belt, nothing like that. So it's pretty standard. No unique selling points. Known issues. No known issues. All right, so we're gonna have it go and work now for us. So once you'll send me that, there's gonna go and pull some comps that it's gonna find throughout the internet. It's going to use the radius that we've given it and programmed it. It's gonna make adjustments based off of all the logic that it just naturally is gonna know to do. So that's basically step number 2 and step number 3 on what we asked it to do. So now it's gonna go off and work for us. So basically, it's gonna go and do this. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's gonna go and do a little going to do this, but it's gonna take into account this additional logic that we did for step 2 and step 3. All right, so here we go. Now it's gone off and done it. So CMA, subject property, so the information that I gave it. Comparables, this is what it's saying for the square footage, and this is going to say for an estimated value. Now, I think this is might be a little bit high, but we'll see. We're gonna add another piece of data that's hyper local. That's where the name comes from. Right now, it's going and generalizing. It's going out there and finding as much as it can from the Zillows, the Realtor.coms, and things of that nature. So basically, it's aggregating a lot of publicly facing information. The huge downside, and this is where a lot of folks miss it when try to do CMAs. The huge downside is, especially here in Texas, it's a non-disclosed state. So that means what's out there in the public is not really what a home is sold for. The only way that Zillow, as an example, would know that a property sold for X amount is because the the person that bought it and or the agent, more specifically, would have told Zillow that. It's the only way Zillow would know. So here's where we're looking at the adjustments that we're going to be making. So here it gives us the logic on what it modified, what it added, what it took away. It's giving a bit of the summary on what it expects. So quick sell 300, mid 312, high range 325, recommended list price 310. That's not too far off from where this home, I believe, should be. Now, it's been a while since I've really looked at this home or even considered selling it. So this is right on par from what I expected the home to be. Give some additional logic on what it's doing or where it's getting some of the trends of where the market is going in the last 90 days, all this fun stuff. So it even gives us advice on how to position this when we do go and sell. Now, the next step, this is the important part. This is what turns a cool prompt into an excellent workable prompt for your business. And that's where we go into the MLS and feed it as much real-time data that we couldn't possibly factor in our mind into the saved into the GPT. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our MLS and we're going to pull the data that's important for this. So we're going to go to the search residential. The important thing here is we're gonna activate, well, actually, let's go to the area first. Let's go to the map. And this home is over here in Crowley. And I know this community, so this is the Crescent Springs community. So I'm gonna go here, 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 here. And this is information, once again, that you would have access to. You would know you are in the community. You have seen the home in many cases, or will be about to see the home. So you see the homes that are being sold, are attempted to be sold right now. Now that we've bracketed just the information that we want, we have five properties, five data points to choose from. The downside there is that they're not all sold, right? Or really, it doesn't really tell us too much. Remember, when we run CMAs, we look at three main factors: past sales, which is comps. The second thing that we focus on is current competition. And then three is market sentiment. Where is the market going? Where is it trending upward? Is it trending downward? So here we're gonna include everything. Now we want all of the data. Once again, when we're running CMAs, we probably wouldn't look for all this information. It's too many data points that are relevant. We wouldn't know how to logically make sense of all that data. It's just not possible for us. But with we have a superpower next to us that is able to provide some context to these, why wouldn't we pull more meaningful data? So what we would be doing here is we would go into add everything in here under the kitchen sink. And what I do is I go into closed and I actually go 365 days. Now I know when we run CMAs, we're looking for 90 days, 180 days, and then stair step from there if needed. Now the reason I go straight to 365 days is because this knows to factor that in. This knows the further you get away from the sell point, the less it's going to be. Let's say it starts off with 95% confidence. If it pulls a home sell from 365 days ago. Well, that drops to, let's say, 65% confidence level because the market has changed since then. So it adds that in there. So for me, it's much better to go ahead and add as much as I can from past successful sales. So I can pull them in and it's going to go and weigh that out. So I don't have to do this manually. Now we're going to go over to results. And for it to work the best for you based off of what the way that this is built is you want to create a saved display. So the saved display that we have here is the hyperlocal CMA. So it pulls up meaningful information for us. So of course, the square footage, the MLS status, how long it's been on there, the closing date, the date that it was listed, and all that fun stuff. So it gives information that is valuable to the AI here. And it, of course, it goes into was it canceled? Did it closed? All that fun stuff. Days on market. It's going to take all this data from the market that we pulled it from that it couldn't find from Zillow. There's no way it could find it from Redfin. There's no way that it can find it from Movoto. This is real-time data that we have access to. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all that information and then we're going to export it. And we're going to export it here. So now I'm going to open that up. It's just going to be a CSV file. So select all of that. We don't have to worry about formatting. We don't have to worry about any of that, but it does ask us, hey, give us the data that you promised us. That is the step three. Is it step three or is it step four? What step is it? Step four, give us the data. So we put a little stopgap here. So now what we have to do is we have to feed it the rest of the information that we just went off and captured. Is this making sense so far? I want to make sure that we're understanding this so we can keep it moving. Awesome. So let's begin. Well, not begin. Let's continue. I've input all of this data. I haven't even made sense of it. I just knew that this is hyper local to the area that we are trying to sell this home or price this home at. And got all the appropriate information that I think is important to price out a home. So the size, the square footage, all that stuff, of course. And now we're taking what it found publicly, all this information, all the logic that was already embedded to it. It went off and did what it was supposed to do, which I think from that alone, it's fine. Like 310 is not a bad price based off of where that home should be priced at right now. So what the value of the home actually is. So I think it's pretty spot on just from the initial logic. What we're trying to do now is we're going to get to that 98, 99% confidence level, which is why we're inputting all this data. So now it's taking all this information. So it's like, hey, same neighborhoods, cool. The square footage, it's bracketing in the homes that are actually comparable to it. It's filtered out the bad ones. Similar ages, prioritize the last 6 months. So mentioned to you that I can go back to 365 days. So it's stair stepped as well. And then it's getting the home summary that I gave it. Now it goes and tells us which homes were the strongest matches. It tells us which homes were actually used or better used for this pricing analysis. Now the average square foot on this one from the home that they gave us was 159. And you notice that up here it was, what was it? It's actually below the publicly available information. So that's a huge uncovery. So I'm gonna guess that this home is probably gonna be in the low, maybe in the 300s, but we'll see. Now, this one, subject property valuation, square footage, adjusting for features, blah blah blah. So it makes the adjustments on things of that nature. So it did some improvements here. So it did add some adjustments to what's out there, but it did reduce the price down slightly. So here it's gonna basically be low strategy 292, mid strategy is 302, and then 312 on the high end. So it's actually suggesting we price it out $10,000 less, which Again, I have not done this exercise in a while in the sense that like this home per se, I'm not looking to sell it, but 300,000 is about right. I know that in 2, 3 years ago, I could have sold it for 325 when I was considering selling it because of the market of where it was. So the market has softened in many areas. So 300 is not a bad price. It's not a bad deal. Yeah, well, I shouldn't say it's relative, I guess. It's fairly spot on from a home. And if you look at the competition right now, just from an overview perspective, if we look and see what's being marketed right now, we're probably going to see homes in 300,000s, but the reason we're seeing them in 300,000s is because they haven't sold yet. Do you see this one? Like this is actually a little bit, they probably enclosed one of the offices into a bedroom because I know that floor plan. These homes are over 300,000, but they're still on the market. So this one is even below that. But let's go back to analysis. So now that it's given us, hey, recommended list price 300, why under 300, beats active competing actives, attracts buyers in this area, and it's going to create multiple offer potential. So here again, it gives some additional information. Oh, where am I? Yeah, it gives additional information what the market is doing. So 45 days on average, buyer activity strong around the 300s. Rate sensitivity is high. So a lot of people are looking at the rates, strong positioning. So it teaches you how to position. And the cool part about the logic that we've embedded here is what you can actually email instantly to your potential seller. So this is even a listing strategy for you. You could quickly rattle off in the same neighborhood, in the same area. You can and create all of this so it can go out and personally send this out to the people that you're prospecting in your neighborhood. It gives you the emails to send, it gives you the text to send, and it gives you the what to say whenever you're trying to schedule the appointment so you can close it. Feedback on this, questions, comments, concerns. Alrighty. Alrighty. Did everybody have a chance to copy the prompt? Want to make sure that you're able to use this on your own. I'll put in the chat one more time. Alrighty, crew. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up? Alrighty. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all being on. Just one quick minor announcement. We're actually going to be sunsetting our summits on Tuesdays, so we're no longer going to do our Tuesday sessions at so our normal programming. So we I think we did the we've done this in the past as we look at different models, different ways to get some more unique content out there. So we're gonna focus on AI pretty heavily. We're gonna focus on video pretty heavily, and we're gonna focus on leverage activity for agents. So that's something that we're gonna be focused on programming. So for now, we are gonna sunset these, so there's not gonna be any more calls on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Central. We'll send out that email to people that are on the email list. So just want to give you a heads up on that. That's something that we are changing slightly so we can come back in a different format. It's going to look a little bit different. Probably going to use a different platform. But I just want to give you a quick heads up on that. Also expect a few more details in the follow-up email. But just wanted to let you know that because we're not going to be on live next Tuesday at 10 a.m. So that link is not going to go live. But anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on. If you need anything from me, please let me know and see you soon.